Henshaws, daily living, supporting people with sight loss and a range of other disabilities to go beyond expectations.
Hello, welcome to Henshaws Tips, Tricks and Tech. I'm Debbie, I'm here with Kevin today. And today's video is a little bit different. Normally if you've watched our videos you'll be aware that we give tips and advice and guidance for people with sight loss to overcome the issues around sight loss. But today's video is for sighted people. So we're looking at the do's and don'ts of communicating with someone with sight loss, aren't we, Kevin?
We are indeed.
So I'm here with Kevin because he's visually impaired and he's going to help give us a little bit of advice. Can you first of all tell us, Kevin, a little bit about what your eye condition is?
Yeah, my eye condition is called Retinitis Pigmentosa,
Right.
RP for short, or otherwise known as tunnel vision. And so if you make a little circle with your hand and put it over your eye, and look through it, close your other eye, look through it, you'll get some idea of tunnel vision and my sight loss.
So how long have you been dealing with that for?
I've been doing that now for over 20 years.
Right.
So yeah.
And you've got a companion who helps you with that?
I'm Rick. Yeah, buddy.
Hi, Rick.
Hello.
Wonderful. So over those 20 years, I imagine you've had lots of different experiences of good and bad practice in terms of sighted people communicating with you. Can we talk through then some advice that we can give out there to sighted people? What would be, so in regards to conversation, which is one of the key things really,
Yeah.
what would be your advice in terms of conversation?
For conversation, I would definitely, once you enter into a room, you say who you are and you make it known that you're speaking to the VI person.
So I would go in and say, hi, Debbie's here, and then carry on.
Yeah, and if it's a room with a lot of people in or a meeting, again, just introduce the members of the people around the table, so that the VI person's got some awareness as to who's there, who's not there.
You can build a picture.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, when going, a big one is say goodbye, let them know you've gone or you're moving away.
Yeah.
Because there's quite a few stories of I've been left talking to myself.
Really? Well, someone's just left the conversation,
Absolutely.
You've carried on.
Yes, yeah.
So let's always say when you're leaving the conversation. Okay.
Definitely, yes.
What about, I've heard this before from other service users, is people shouting, so people changing their voice, changing their body language. Is that something you've experienced?
Yeah, because again, you pick up the nuances of people's voices. Yeah. So, you can pick up with the mood quite often. When someone's speaking to you, you can pick up the direction of where they're coming from. But again, with gestures as well, if you're being unnatural with your gestures, that's going to come across that you're all still awkward and not comfortable with the situation.
So even if somebody, so obviously you're holding my eye contact so you can see your eyes, but even for somebody who's completely blind, you'd say still hold eye contact, still use the same sort of natural body language that you would do normally.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, without a doubt.
It's all about being natural really and just being yourself, isn't it, having a normal conversation.
It is, yeah. I mean, we don't bite, even though some people might think we do.
So what about the actual language that you use? And this is something that I became aware of before I started working for Henshaws when I started here, is that I found myself using language that referenced sight quite a lot in normal days. So things like, see you later, did you watch that film? That I became conscious of. What about that kind of thing?
Yeah, again, I think most VI people are so used to that conversation, that language anyway. Continue to use it. We use it.
Yeah, use the
so
later.
Yeah. It doesn't cause us any offence. We know what you mean.
Yeah. So carry on, be normal.
Be normal, absolutely.
Okay. What about in terms of giving you any sort of directions or advice in terms of guidance?
Yeah, I mean, this is a big one really. When you're giving directions, don't just say it's over there and point in a direction, or it's down there, or be descriptive with it. So if it's if it's forward, you say continue straight on, and it's on the second on the right or third on the right, or
So be as accurate.
Absolutely, yeah.
That takes a bit of practice, doesn't it? But that's
it does.
But that really helps.
It does, yeah, without a doubt.
Okay, brilliant. What about have you got any horror stories for us? Anything that would say is a really major no-no?
Yeah, I mean, I was in a cafe the other day, needed to use the toilet. A chap came round from the counter staff and just grabbed on me by my arm and just dragged me off to the toilet. A very polite young man, but he was. He showed me everything. Then he grabbed on my hand and put it on the basin. He took me up to the toilet, showed me where that was. I triggered off the hand dryer, so we knew where that was. But that's not the way to go about.
He was trying to help, but obviously
It was,
It
yes.
was quite appropriate.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, just some clear directions really, and descriptive directions would have helped. Like to the end of the counter, turn right, straight forward, you come to the door, hand dryers on the left hand side, sinks in front and the toilets on the right.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what this video is all about. We don't want to discourage help, we just
No.
want to make sure it's channeled in the right way.
Indeed, yes.
Okay, what about with the guide dog? Any stories that you've got for us involving Heinrich?
I have, yes. Well, Heinrich, come here, buddy. I was Heinrich, and there we go. Yeah, there was one day I got a bit disorientated in Manchester, and I was looking for a certain street, and this, again, helpful member of the public came over to me. He said, "Do you need some help?" I said, "Yes, please." And he then bent down to talk to my dog and give the dog directions to where I wanted to go.
So you were lost, you didn't know where you wanted to go, but...
Yeah, and then he's telling me that he's giving directions to my dog, and I'm like, "Thanks very much, but that's not going to help."
He's a very clever dog, Heinrich, but he's not that clever, is he?
He's not, no.
So that is a really key one. We joke about that, but that's a really key one, is it? So it's about
It
not
is.
not talking to a third person, whether that's a dog or a person.
Absolutely,
It's
yes.
talking
Yeah.
to you directly.
Yeah.
Which should be go without saying, but often does need to be pointed out.
It does, yeah, because again, when you're in a conversation and, if you've got another physical person with you, like a partner or a friend, I found quite often that sometimes they've spoken directly to them and asked them, how does he get on doing this? How does he get on doing that?
Talking about you in a third person.
Yeah, and so...
That's a big no-no. That's a good takeaway from this video.
Absolutely.
There's loads of great advice in there, so thank you for that, Kevin. Let's just really quickly summarise though. If you had a top 3 do's for people out there who want to be better at communicating with someone with a VI, what would they be?
It would be clear in introducing yourself and saying goodbye.
Yeah, so identify yourself.
Identify yourself, yeah. Giving clear directions, so not over there or over here. Give clear
be
directions,
accurate.
descriptive with it.
Yeah.
And also then thirdly, don't talk to, if you're there, if the person's there, the blind person's there, speak to them. They have got a voice, they can hear you, and they will communicate.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So,
That's really helpful. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you.
Hopefully you found that useful. If you have, please do share it and come back and see some more of our videos soon. Bye.